Go ahead and let me load up my YouTube on my phone so I can read the comments. And we'll see who's here. Who's who in the zoo? All right. Well, it looks like nobody's online yet. So, I'm gonna also do a little cleaning while I'm waiting for people to show up. So as you can see, I got a lot of 2000X stuff out. And we will set some of this stuff aside so we can talk about our 2000X figure and all the coolness about this new figure just came out. Oh, you know, I should find my 2000X He-Man while I'm sitting here. Where did I stick him? There he is. Oh, I lost his axe. Axes! We do need some stinking axes. There it is. Oh. Hey, Steven. Hey, what is that? Leo Rocks? Thanks for joining us. Leo Ox Rock? I don't know how I'm pronouncing it. Hey, Cobb. All right. Yes, finally a day to watch live. I'm hoping to make a bunch of videos today. I finally have a day off that I'm not busy doing something. There have been a lot of days lately I've just been busy either doing work stuff or stuff around the house or stuff for my kids. So I finally have a chance to go through these figures. Like I said, I have a bunch over here to still go through and some over here too. So it's going to take you a while to go through a bunch of these. But we're going to start with 2000X Skeletor because I'm pretty excited about opening this one. So I figure, what the heck? I'll start with this one. Hey, welcome from Italy. It's Leo X Rock. All right, Leo X Rock, thanks for joining us. Hey, Jeff, thanks for being here. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at the back of this box. And you can see other figures in the line. It looks like I got the whole entire wave now. Cool, because I know I have him, already opened him. He's sitting over on the side waiting to be opened. We got 2000X He-Man right here. And then we have, oh, stand, man, stand. And then we have the 2000X Skeletor in this box. Here's the cool box art. And I have the multilingual version, so I guess it's going to be a blank comic on the inside. Let's see. Jamie Sanders, thanks for joining us. And Jinx Caliber, it's going good. That looks weird. Burp, burp, burp. The light shining off of the shiny. Well, before we jump into this, let's talk about 2000X Skeletor through the ages. So here's our first 2000X Skeletor we got in 2002. And he's a pretty cool Skeletor. And he has an action feature where he pushes button. And the idea is you put his sword in his hand and he could fight with 2000X He-Man. So you can basically, they all have some cool action feature. Now, one thing that made this figure really unique is the storyline that the Four Horsemen came up with. Is that Skeletor finally got both sides of the sword. The good side and the bad side. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, in the original 80s, now this is an oversized version, but in the original 80s, we got only half a sword in each figure. So Skeletor came with this half, and He-Man came with this half here. Now, it's funny because Skeletor is my first figure. And when I got my first Skeletor back in the 80s, I had the half boot and I had the half sword. And I just thought they were lazy on painting and lazy on making. I figured this was only a half-cast thing, and that's why the sword was this way. Not because it merged with another half, which would have known that would have been cool to know, but because I thought they just used only half of a mold to make it, just to help production. And then when I got my He-Man eventually someday, and I figured out they go together, it was like, oh, okay, that's how you make the whole full sword. And then, like I mentioned or a couple videos ago, that the castle's based on which sword they have, the good side or the bad side. Depends on who owns the castle now. It's the whole idea of the two swords that merge to make a full, complete sword. The evil side and the good side. Now, I don't know if the sword itself is evil or just the person wielding it is. or how that totally works, but that's kind of the idea. Let me go and stick an extra light on here. So what was cool was eventually we got a guy named Castle Grayskull Man, and Castle Grayskull Man came with the two swords, the heroic good side and the evil side, which actually matched the flag. You can see there how when Dan made this figure, he actually used the flag to figure out the swords, which was such a cool idea. So in the Four Horsemen, of course this came way after the Four Horsemen, the Four Horsemen made theirs did not mimic the old sword we saw from the 80s, but they made kind of a new sword, and it had some cool designs on it. You could see like this one here has like a skull type side because it's the evil side. The evil side, you can see it has like a, you know, Skeletor's type face or whatever. And this is a heroic side, and you can see it has like some heroic type features on it. Things that you'd see like on the seat of Castle Grayskull. That symbol right there was actually on the throne of Castle Grayskull. So you can kind of see it has, you know, an eagle and the eagle's wings. So you can kind of see how it's supposed to be a heroic side. So we have like the eagle and the sign of Castle Grayskull, the eagle's tail on the bottom, and this side of course has the horns from the Havoc staff and the Skeletor face. So really Skeletor's sword was the mixture of those two halves, the good and the evil, and he actually got a hold of it, which is why we got this crazy looking mechanical sword. Is supposed to be that Man-at-Arms had to forge a new sword for He-Man to channel the power of Grayskull, and so him and the Sorceress together created this new sword, which is this right here, and they were going to make a whole new He-Man series that took place after Filmation. But of course Mattel rejected that idea of doing the new storyline, so we ended up with these figures with these swords that wouldn't match the storyline, but was still cool to have. I mean, the way the sword looked was a pretty cool looking sword regardless. So that is how we got these crazy swords. So I'm hoping, probably misjudged hope, that the sword will come apart in this pack, but I doubt it will, because that's really the intent. Was it supposed to be the good and the evil side of the two swords combining to create his sword. Alright, now a lot of you guys know that I really love 2000X, and the steed I used to use for my 2000X Skeletor was this right here. Now I know that he had Panther, and Panther's cool, but I just don't like it when the good guys and bad guys have the exact same stuff. They all have cats, they all have this, they all have that. I like it when they have something different. So I actually like the fact that you can use this. Now it was made for the Samurai Skeletor, but I don't care. It looked awesomely cool with this Skeletor. And so let's go ahead and stick him in here. Now it's kind of funny, is years ago I found one of these on sale, and I was kind of excited about getting a second one, but then, like always, you know, too much space, had to purge. And so I took a regular He-Man. Oh, no, I didn't. I took a Battle Spin He-Man with the blue armor, and I used to pretend like he was Faker because he had, you know, Faker-looking color armor on. And I had this too, and showed how cool it was to mix the two. And I sold it to some guy, and he bought it for his son for Christmas on eBay. And it stinks, it never got to him. So I was kind of bummed about that. Now this is a cool toy. It has spring legs. Whoop. Oh, I just shot the missile out. Now I don't know where it is. Oh, hold on a second while I try to hunt down where I shot that missile at. Ooh. Where could it have gone? Oh, there it is. Hooray. Hooray, hooray, hooray. I found the missile. So anyway, it's supposed to be like he's shooting fire. Fire! And, there it is. And so you can kind of see how he has the fire shape on it. And then you have a button on the side here. You press, and wham, bam, it shoots. Now, what's funny is it shot a lot harder a second ago all the way across the room. I'm not sure how I had it mounted in there. But now it's not shooting nearly as hard as it just did accidentally. And then we got this cool handle right here, and as you pull it, then he goes into attack mode. And so I always put Skeletor's hand on here like he was getting ready to do the attack mode. Then I'd usually put either his sword or his staff on this side. And now we are ready for battle. Which is such a much cooler mount than just a cat, you know. So anyway, I digress, but so cool, so cool. So, as you guys know, I actually ended up making my own 2000X Skeletor. I've actually made a few of them. Sorry about that. I actually made a few of them throughout the years. This was one that I made right here. And it's a pretty easy build. Basically, it is a recast of... oh, yeah, dude, your head's not on all the way. There we go. It's a recast of Scareglow's head, and then the hood from the Laser Power He-Man, and then Kildor's armor, and then the original 2000X weapons, and then of course I can put a staff in his hand too to match. And it's you know, it looks very 2000X-ish, but not completely. Let me go. Where's that 2000X figure I just had? Oh, I stuck him way over here. So you can kind of see with the darker armor and stuff, it kind of looks like that. And then I got some bare feet that I put on there as well for him. And this worked pretty good. But then I made my really awesome 2000X Skeletor. This one right here, which I actually stole the parts from the 2000X Skeletor figure, except for the boot stuff. Oop, there goes my light again. And you can see he's pretty cool looking. And one cool feature about this figure is his eyes actually appear to light up. Oh, that's UV. It's not the right light. That's UV too. Where is my flashlight? There it is. And basically I just have, so you can see his eyes appear to light up on the back. Ooh, actually there's a zoom in feature. See how cool that is. And basically, come on, camera, there we go. Basically all it is, the back of his hood is clear. And that way then his eyes would go all the way through to light up. And a lot of people like that feature. So I actually made a couple of these and sold them. Let's watch that again. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Anyway. So, this was my 2000X version, and I gave him the cape from Darth Vader. That's right. And then, of course, the leg pieces I had to paint purple myself, and they're just standard leg pieces. I forget which figure I got it from, but they're the same ones we originally got with Hero a long time ago. But that's not it. Because I liked that mount so much, I did make him his own mount, which was from a Jurassic Park figure. And this figure had some cool features. They wanted to make it puppet-like, so as you move the tail, you control the head, and then as you pull this button, you can make it attack. And then if you pull this button, there it is on his tail, you can make him chomp and make all kinds of noise. And then I took the saddle from one of the horses. I think it might have been Arrow and Bo's horse, and then just painted it black and silver and left the brown on there. And now my 2000X Skeletor can have his own cool ride. Ride on. Alright, let me see if I can get this leg bent. Unfortunately, the original one I made was way cooler. I actually used Mattel. See? Not as cool. I used the Mattel Filmation Skeletor, and then I ended up selling him, and then I had to go back and remake him with a Super 7 Filmation Skeletor, which is not nearly as cool. But there you go. Anyway, that's enough of the customs. Let me go and set him aside as well. And let's get to the actual figure you guys are here for. And that is the Origins Skeletor. Please stop doing that dolt sound, I beg you. Alright. So, let's open this up and check it out. Ooh. Alright, it comes with the same comic we've seen 3 other times already. No words. Now, at first I thought it was cool having no words so I can see the full artwork, which, you know, was a huge plus. But I kind of want to know what the story's about, so I may have to, hopefully somebody puts a version online, or may have to go find one of these figures in a local store. The parts that are removable, his head, his arms. What? I'm guessing his waist is too. Yeah, his waist and his legs. I was just thinking it was just darker for coloring, but I guess that means it's removable. Alright. Let's get him out of here. Now, it looks like they gave us the same old Havoc staff we already had. We'll take a look at that in a minute. Where is my scissors? Alright, so, interesting, here he comes with the 2 fisted hands instead of having one open and one closed, or having extras in the thing. Oh, it looks like he has an extra belt. Now that is cool. Let's first do his articulation, then I'll start pulling apart. Okay, we got ankle articulation, boot cut, knee, his thigh, waist, shoulder, elbow. Ooh, oh, it's a tight one. There we go. And then his wrist and his head articulation. So we have lots of articulation on this guy. Now, this is a belt instead of an actual loincloth, so that's cool. Let's go ahead and rip this apart and take a look at that. Now that is pretty snazzy. Let's see how close it matches to the Keldor. That's pretty close. You could do some cool mixes with different armors and stuff. That's pretty cool. But it looks like his 2000X armor is actually the exact same armor we've already gotten. I thought it might have been different since the figure was different originally. Yep, still has the standard hookup like a bra. Alright. Now, so I mentioned the head's kind of strange. I have to admit this head is better looking than I thought it was going to be, than it looks on the actual pictures online. His teeth look rounded on the pictures, but here his teeth actually look sharp. So I'm actually pleasantly surprised. Now the front of his head looks weird, like it's a space helmet instead of a an actual hood. Seems like he's wearing some kind of space helmet or something. But I kind of get that. I mean, it's kind of hard to make things look the way you want on this cheaper scale, less expensive scale. Alright, and instead of having his 5 toes, we got the 3 toes. The 3-toed sloth. Alright, let's see a regular Skeletor's toes and see if they are the same. Yep, they are the same feet. No difference. Oop. Oop. Dude, you're losing your terror claws. Now, obviously the skin color is completely different. He's purplish as opposed to him being kind of a turquoise blue. So that is quite different. So unfortunately, you're not going to be able to mix pieces of him. But you can steal his whole armor. And let's see if you can steal his whole boot. Oh, you can. So if you wanted to make a Skeletor that has all this purple cool armor in a turquoise blue, it'd be very easy to do, except for the wrist cuffs. Because the wrist cuffs, unfortunately, are just painted on there. They're not removable. Stand, man. All right. So somebody mentioned earlier they wanted to make a custom hero figure. These boot pieces might work to make your custom hero. That might just work. This would take a lot of painting, but oh well, I'll fix this guy later. All right, let's take a look at the accessories, the part I've been waiting for. So they did paint us a really nice shiny purple, where it's almost it looks, I don't know. They do have the symbols on there. This side does have the Grayskull symbol on it, and this side does have the skull side on it. So that's cool. They did do that. It's hard to tell. There's feathers on this side, but I think it's supposed to be. So there you go. The eagle head's kind of hard to make out on there. Doesn't look much like an eagle head from my point of view. And they are not separable. They are one piece. So unfortunately, you can't actually take these apart. They are stuck together. But not too bad showing the way they're supposed to look. But of course then you can't separate them like you saw in the cartoon where you'd pull it apart. And the Havoc Staff is the same Havoc Staff we already got. It's not the 2000X version. It's just the regular Havoc Staff that we've seen many times before. Let's see. Wondar's head matches the boots and furry underwear. Oh, you're talking about Wondar. Alright, I'll have to check out what your comment is later. Not quite sure what you're asking. Alright, so there we go. There's the 2000X Skeletor. Now, Mattel, what I am waiting for is the 2000X Sorceress. Get on it, man. That would be a really cool figure to have. I don't know. She's just pretty cool. I've wanted her in Classics. If we do get an Origins, hopefully there's enough pieces to salvage to use for Classics. That'd be a cool, cool figure to have. And of course, oh, I have my giant Skeletor. So, where did it go? There it is. So as I mentioned before, I like to pretend to use this magic mushroom and pretend like Skeletor has somehow got this new magical thing from wherever he got it from. You could change the story however you want of how he acquires this special mushroom from some mountain or from some cave or from some underwater cave. Whatever you want to do in your storyline. Maybe he traveled to some kind of crazy land and got this mushroom, and when he absorbs the mushroom, he becomes giant Skeletor. Oh, look how strong he's already knocked over the sorceress. And he too has the cool double sword. See, here you can really tell it's supposed to be a bird. Look at that. You can see the beak right there and the eye. Anyway. But this one doesn't separate either. That is just one piece. So, that's kind of the storyline I like to pretend. So you can actually pull him into the story and pretend like Skeletor has some new power to destroy Castle Grayskull. Alright, let's go and set the 2000X Giant Skeletor aside. Oh, it's funny. I wanted this bird to be removable, and so I carefully pulled it apart and added little small pins in her feet, and then put magnets in the base so she can magnetize on there. A long, long time ago. It's funny. I'm surprised I still have it for all these years. Alright, so real quick before I go, I do want to talk about the plugs for the elevator, because people keep asking about them. These right here. And yes, I am selling them. They come in two forms. They come in raw, which is like this, and they come in resin coated and painted like this. And the raw comes in two colors. You more likely will get this more red one. instead of this brown one, but it's, you know, kind of random. And then that's about it. So if you want one, contact me on Facebook. If you don't care, that's fine too. You don't need it right for the elevator side. It's made for the other side if you decide to do 3 walls. But it is kind of cool to stick it on the elevator side just to have that floor covered when you're not using it for an elevator. So that characters can stand there and have some more floor room. So that is kind of a cool feature of having that floor plug. Anyway, that's enough pumping my own stuff. Why did you put the floor there? That is hazardous. Yep, actually it's just a temporary floor thing. It's actually more hazardous not to have it, because if you don't have it, someone can be walking along, minding their own business, and fall right through and get hurt. So these are temporary floorboards to protect the people inside the castle from falling through the elevator shaft. I need to make some supports for these. That is my next thing I'm making, is supports for these. This is ridiculous. I can't even put a figure up there without bending their feet so far forward so they don't fall over. It's just crazy. And look how far his feet are bent forward, just hugging to the wall so he won't fall off the floor. I'm not gonna fall. And it's like he's almost slipping off now. Lawsuits. I can't get my elevator to work very well. Let's talk about that. So the elevator. Yeah, mine gets stuck on the floor right there. Oh, you know what? I think my floor's pushed all the way in. Let's make sure. Okay, there we go. Yeah. What is your actual problem with the elevator, man? If it's Skeletor, it falls, it's fine. Hit the Fat Skulls, the next He-Man. In the new cartoon, 4-pack has the same head as the normal release, because the rest of the He-Man have cartoon-accurate heads. Yeah, that's a good point. Yep. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. And you know what's so weird about this is, you know, years ago we got these McDonald's toys. And when I look at some of these weapons, it just looks like ones they would release, except for the coloring of the paint. It looks like it'd be a McDonald's toy weapon. I don't know, it just looks, they just look so cheesy and unarticulated. Because they all had something. This would spin, this would break apart, and for them to dumb them down, or, you know, not make them do what they used to. And I know that classics didn't spin either, but still, the classics still looked okay, but I don't know. I don't know. I will stop complaining. They are only, what, $14 a piece. I guess if you kept your elevator up all the time, you wouldn't have the problem with the hole in the floor. There you go. Now I always take and wrap my string around the corner here just to keep the elevator from falling back down after I pull it up. But dun-da-dun. You say that like He-Man isn't the cheesiest thing ever anyway. That is hilarious. Extender grows out his body to fall. There you go. As he's falling, he extends it out. That's funny. Alright. You know what? These McDonald's size guys are actually closer to the right size for Castle Grayskull. I mean, look how cool they fit in there. And there used to be a line of toys that actually matched the same height as these. I used to have them. They were called, what was it, Beast Warriors, Beast something, I don't know. I got it on one of my websites. And these were the same size. Alright. At least Mechaneck can stretch his neck and use his teeth to grab on. Minotaur. Oh, that is so cool. They're going to re-release these guys. Yes. So that is pretty cool. All right, well that's all I got for this video. I'm sure I'll have lots more today, hopefully, if things all go well. Let's see. You never listen to me. All right, like, subscribe. I don't have Darth Vader to send you guys off, so this is my salutations, and I will see you guys, hopefully some more videos today. And that is it. Good journey.